Hello, my LA9 students. It's Mr. Guyette. Today we are going to be reading the second half of the Scarlet Ibis. And so if you'd like to start with me on page 338, I'm going to get you started. And then the assignment today is to finish up the Scarlet Ibis story in your literature books, then answer a couple questions in Google Classroom. Page 338. Within a few months, Doodle had learned to walk well, and his go-kart was put up in the barn loft. It's still there, beside his little mahogany coffin. Now, when we roamed off together, resting often, we never turned back until our destination had been reached. And to help pass the time, we took up lying. From the beginning, Doodle was a terrible liar, and he got me in the habit. Had anyone stopped to listen to us, we would have been sent off to Dick's Hill. My lies were scary, involved, and usually pointless, but Doodle's were twice as crazy. People in his stories all had wings and flew wherever they wanted to go. His favorite lie was about a boy named Peter who had a pet peacock with a 10-foot tail. Peter wore a golden robe that glittered so brightly that when he walked through the sunflowers, they turned away from the sun to face him. When Peter was ready to go to sleep, the peacock spread his magnificent tail, enfolding the boy gently like a closing go-to sleep flower, burying him in the gloriously iridescent rustling vortex. Yes, I must admit it. Doodle could beat me lying. Sorry about my cat meowing in the background there. Doodle and I spent lots of time thinking about our future. We decided that when we were grown, we'd live in Old Woman's Swamp and pick dog's tongue for a living. Beside the stream, he planned, we'd build us a house of whispering leaves, and the swamp birds would be our chickens. All day long, when we weren't gathering dog's tongue, we'd swing through the cypresses on the rope vines, and if it rained, we'd huddle beneath an umbrella tree and play stick frog. Mama and Daddy could come and live with us if they wanted to. He even came up with the idea that he could marry Mama and I could marry Daddy. Of course, I was old enough to know this wouldn't work out, but the picture he painted was so beautiful and serene that all I could do was whisper, yes, yes. Once I had succeeded into teaching Doodle to walk, I began to believe in my own infallibility, and I prepared a terrific development program for him, unknown to Mama and Daddy, of course. I would teach him to run, to swim, to climb trees, and to fight. He too now believed in my infallibility, so when we set the deadline for these accomplishments less than a year away, when it had been decided, Doodle could start school. If you look on the bottom of the page there, infallibility means that you don't make a mistake, like you are perfect. And the author starts to believe that he can kind of do anything here. That winter, we didn't make much progress, for I was in school and Doodle suffered from one bad cold after another. But when spring came, rich and warm, we raised our sights again. Success lay at the end of summer like a pot of gold, and our campaign got off to a good start. On hot days, Doodle and I went down to Horsehead Landing, and I gave him swimming lessons or showed him how to row a boat. Sometimes we descended into the cool greenness of Old Woman's Swamp and climbed the rope vines or boxed scientifically beneath the pine where he had learned to walk. Promise hung about us like leaves, and wherever we looked, ferns unfurled and birds broke into song. So Doodle and the narrator are starting to do even more than just the walking, which we saw at the end of part one of the story. Your assignment again is to finish up the Scarlet Ibis, one of my favorite short stories, and then to answer a couple of questions in Google Classroom. And I will talk to you on Google Classroom. Have a great day, everybody.